And Mr. Hartel, you're here as well,
I am.
filling in for Mr. Harrison. Is that accurate?
It is accurate.
And he's in trial.
He is.
So I know Ms. Stemke and Mr. Apsey is here as well. Mr. Apsey, you can have a seat at that table. I know Ms. Stemke has filed an appearance that's happened before the court has allowed defense counsel to withdraw. So we're here on a motion. Mr. Hartel, let's start with your motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Mr. Apsey, his case is connected to Mindy McMahon, who we also represent. We do believe there's a conflict there. We have 2 files which are currently pending. I would ask the court to grant this motion. I do believe it's appropriate to avoid that potential conflict. Thank you.
How is it tied with her?
We'll look at the specifics right now.
This counts and attorney.
Bailiff, can you go check, make sure everything's all right out there?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize for the delay. Mindy McNamara is listed as a suspect in Mr. Apsey's report, and we do believe that that is potentially an issue there due to her being listed as a suspect in the report.
Isn't this a operating without insurance, unlawful plate, and driving the license suspended?
It is, Your Honor. To go into a little more detail about that, there is alleged to have been also destruction of property. That's not charged, but that was an allegation, just so the court's aware.
So how would that be relevant? I mean, so just because you represent her doesn't mean you have a conflict in this case. So I'm trying to get to how you representing her in other cases gets us to a conflict in operating without insurance, unlawful use of a plate, and driving the license suspended.
Yes, Your Honor. Just in case the people do end up charging that in any fashion, and I believe we're erring on the side of caution. I'm going to be honest about that. He just definitely would rather err on the side of caution there. I don't necessarily know if the people would call her as a witness. I don't want to put words in their mouth. Obviously, there is a distinction between that. We don't know if there's other variables at play, if those other things will be charged or not. But again, erring on the side of caution.
Ms. Carey, I'll turn to you. Do you see the potential conflicted witness being a witness in this case at all?
She's mentioned in this report, but I don't see that she would be a witness in this to the driving offenses. Unless I'm missing something, I don't see that she's a witness to the actual driving offenses. He, it's alleged, approached an officer in the parking lot of the police department and reported that Miss McNamara smashed his windshield and broke his taillights. She wasn't, from what I can tell, actually present. And while they were speaking to him, he explained the vehicle was not registered to him, but he owned it. He just hadn't registered it yet. He didn't have insurance. So I don't.
So he drove.
There is a witness in this case.
So just so I'm understanding, he drove to the police department to report malicious destruction of property. They cited him for operating without a license, no security, and unlawful plate.
Correct.
And she was not on scene.
Doesn't look like it.
And
Wait. Right. It says, I was unable to contact Mindy because she is homeless. There's no current information regarding contact information.
okay. And does it say who this 2013 Dodge Avenger is registered to?
Debbie Sue Jones.
So there's not even an allegation that she's the owner of the vehicle to be used as a potential defense witness.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Hartel?
Although we, of course, throw in the word alleged to all the allegations, those would be an accurate resuscitation of the allegations. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, based on what I've heard today, I'm going to deny defense request. I don't believe that there is a conflict of interest in this case, at least as presented to the court. Now, that leaves us with Ms. Stemke having filed an appearance. I'm guessing the cart got before the horse on this one. And so now I have two attorneys appearing. So how are we going to handle this?
Defender's office would be fine with Ms. Stemke continuing the representation, but of course, we realize that the court has made its ruling.
Does that have to go through the conflict administrator?
We did send that through the proper channel.
Okay, but that was before the court denied your motion. So now you've requested a conflict. The conflict administrator has appointed Ms. Stemke. I don't think you can just unilaterally say you're okay with Ms. Stemke representing Mr. Apsey. I think that's got to be run through the conflict administrator, and this is part of the reason why we don't get the cart before the horse. And I realize this is not your case, and I guess I should have addressed that. Mr. Apsey, Mr. Harrison is your attorney. Are you okay with Mr. Hartel filling in on this motion today? All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to leave it up to the public defender's office and the conflict administrator as to how to handle the case moving forward with the attorneys, because I don't, for one, where I've found there's not a conflict, I don't know if the agreement with the conflict administrator and Ms. Stemke would allow her to remain on the contract or the case, I'm sorry. So I will leave it open-ended. We can do a stipulation to withdraw from Ms. Stemke. We can do a stipulation to substitute counsel, however the parties want to do that. But for purposes of today, I'm finding that there's not a conflict. And I believe we were also here for a pretrial, but I'm guessing given the procedure status of this, we haven't resolved the case. Is that correct?
I was going to ask for an adjournment anyway. Mr. Apsey and I have spoken, and we did discuss and I have spoken with the prosecutor already on this case, Judge, in regards to the goal in what we were trying to accomplish for a plea resolution. So yes, we were going to ask for adjournment.
All right. I will reset this for a pretrial then next week. Thank you. Anything else?
Not bad for myself, Your Honor.
I just want
Ms.
Mr.
Carey?
Apsey to be reassured he'll have an attorney, because I think he'll be a little bit concerned.
Yes, you will have an attorney. We just don't know which one yet.
Okay.
All right. Just
When this comes up in a week, is that where we are on a plea or?
Well, it'll be another pretrial, and we'll talk to you more about that.
Okay. All right.
before next week, you'll have an attorney, and that attorney will have talked to you. So.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Just a reminder, your bond conditions continue. All right. You can go out to the front window where you checked in and get your next court date. I have been informed that you haven't been fingerprinted yet.
I will get that right away.
All right, because I won't allow the case to be resolved without that. So. Okay, thank you. We are adjourned on that one. Thank you, Ms. Stem.
Thank you, Judge.
On behalf of Mr. Franzone, who joins me to my right, Your Honor.
And we are here for a pretrial. You may have a seat. We're here for a pretrial. Is there any resolution in this case?
There is, Your Honor. My client would accept the people's offer of allow another offer.
Mr. Franzone, have you been printed yet?
No, Your Honor, I had an appointment made for last Friday, but I was stuck at work. I have an appointment for next Wednesday at 6:30
In the AM or PM?
PM. That was the closest that they could get me in.
All right, I am going to adjourn this case until after your prints are taken. So we will set this for, can we squeeze him in? You said next Wednesday
Yes,
evening.
6:30.
Can we squeeze him in the next day, Thursday?
The 9th? Yeah, in the morning.
All right, we will adjourn this until Thursday morning then. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is.
My understanding, the defendant will plead guilty to added count 3 operating while visibly impaired. We'll dismiss count 1, operating while intoxicated.
Mr. Barnett?
Thank you, Your Honor. That is accurate. Assessment. And, have it 7%.
All right. Mr. Schwab, have you heard what the attorneys have said the resolution in this case is? And is that how you wish to resolve it? I need you to speak right up so the recording equipment can get you. All right. Will you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
It's my understanding you'll be pleading guilty to count number 2 of open intox, an open container of intoxicants in a vehicle. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or a fine of $100 in community service and substance abuse screening. Additionally, you'll be pleading guilty to what will be an added count 3 of operating while visibly impaired. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or a fine of $300. In exchange for that, count number 1 of operating while intoxicated, a 93-day misdemeanor will be dismissed. Is that your full understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes.
Back on September 17th of this year, were you on probation or parole?
No.
Were you on bond?
No.
Do you remember reading and signing this advice of rights form, talk about your rights to an attorney and your rights to a trial?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Most importantly, do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be giving up the right to have a trial and you won't have a trial of any kind?
Correct.
Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything?
No.
Has anybody threatened you in any way?
No.
And is it your own free choice to plea today?
Correct.
Counselor, are either of you aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements not made part of the record?
I'm not.
No, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Schwab, to the allegation that on or about September 17th, 2025 in Cherry Grove Township to count number 2 of alcohol open container in a vehicle and added count 3 of operating while visibly impaired, how do you plead? In order to accept that plea, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So back on September 17th of this year, were you operating a motor vehicle in Cherry Grove Township?
Yes.
And prior to operating that vehicle, had you consumed alcohol?
Correct. Yes.
How much had you had to drink?
Over probably a dozen beers.
All right. And do you believe that that would have impaired your ability to operate the motor vehicle?
Yes.
And is it also true that you had some sort of open container of alcohol in the vehicle?
Correct.
And what did you have?
Beer.
A beer? You counsel believe that the defendants provided the factual basis in which to accept the plea and the court rule has been complied with?
I do.
Yes, Your Honor.
As does the court, I find the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. Mr. Schwab, I find you guilty of count number 2, open container in a vehicle, and added count 3 of operating while visibly impaired. Pursuant to the plea agreement, the operating while intoxicated will be dismissed at the time of sentencing.
For the record, Your Honor, I don't know that we covered it. There was a PBT of 0.194.
0.194.
There was a blood draw, but we do not have the labs yet.
All right. I don't believe the PBT is necessary for visibly impaired, but I will take note of that for sentencing purposes. And Mr. Barnett, you said we had to set this over for sentencing?
Yes, please.
All right.
If he uses fingerprints too, Your Honor, that would be.
The machine was down when he was booked,
Okay.
so
Yes, Mr. Schwab, you will need to get your fingerprints taken. And you'll also need to get a substance use assessment. That's something that's required on drunk driving charges. So we'll set this over, probably be set out for a couple of weeks. So make sure you get your prints taken before that time. Okay. Just a reminder that your bond conditions continue. You can go to the front window where you checked in and get your next court date.
Thank you, Your Honor. Does he need a order from the court on his
I think there's
fingerprints?
there's one in the file. Yeah. So. Court next calls the people of the state of Michigan versus Brent James Borchardt, sorry. This is case number 253714 ST. Appearances, counsel.
Joanne Carey, for the people.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mark Mitchell, Cadillac, Michigan, appearing on behalf of the defendant.
And we are here for a pretrial. Is there any resolution in this case?
Yes, it's my understanding the defendant will plead guilty to driving while license suspended first offense and responsible to the civil infraction of texting and driving. The people will dismiss the second or subsequent offense for the driving license suspended.
Mr. Mitchell, is that accurate?
Your Honor, that's our understanding of the plea agreement. Thank you.
Has your client been printed yet?
Your Honor, I am not certain.
Sir, have you got
No,
your
Your Honor.
fingerprints taken? Why have you not had your fingerprints taken?
I just returned from working in Alaska for the summer and I was unaware that I needed to get my fingerprints taken immediately.
Well, you knew you had to get them taken because I remember having that conversation with you. So the court will set this over for a plea and sentence once the fingerprints have been taken. We'll set it for next Wednesday and make sure you have them taken before that. If not, I can have the bailiff take you to jail and we can get them done that way. So I suggest you get them done.
Your Honor, I'm out of town next Wednesday.
When are you back in town?
I apologize, Your Honor. I don't have my calendar with me. I thought we were gonna wrap this morning.
Are you back on the 14th? I'm sorry, the 15th?
I'm sorry, I don't have my calendar with me, but I know I'm definitely gone next week. So,
Well, we will set it for the 15th, and if we need to adjust that, we can do that.
and there's an order in the file we can get at the front counter.
There is.
We'll have him get that done as soon as possible.
All right, you can go out to the front window where you checked in, get that fingerprint order and your next court date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court next call is the people of the city of Cadillac versus Caden.
Had Miranda run
This is case number 253-821-OT, appearances counsel.
Joanna Carey, please do roll.
David O'Meara on behalf of Mr. Sherman, filling in for Mr. Harrison.
All right, and Mr. Harrison's still in trial today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Sherburne, are you all right with Ms. O'Meara filling in for your attorney today?
Yes, sir.
All right. And it looks like you got your prints taken. Is that accurate? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're here for a pretrial. Is there any resolution in this case?
My understanding, three allowing another to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code, and the people will dismiss count one and count two.
Ms. O'Meara?
That's my understanding.
Mr. Sherburne, have you heard what the attorneys have said the resolution in this case is?
Yes, sir.
And is that how you wish to resolve it?
Yes, sir.
It's my understanding that you'll be pleading guilty to what is essentially an added count 3 of allowing another to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or a fine of $100. In exchange for that, the people will be dismissing count number 1 of operating without insurance. That is a misdemeanor of up to 1 year in jail and fines of $200, but not more than $500. And count number 2 of driving while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days and or $500. Is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Back on August 25th of this year, were you on probation or parole?
Okay.
Were you on bond?
No, you're not.
Do you remember reading and signing this advice of rights form, talk about your rights to an attorney and your rights to a trial?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Most importantly, do you understand that you have a right to a jury trial and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be giving up that right? You won't have a trial of any kind. Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plead? Has anybody threatened you in any way? And is it your own free choice to plead today?
Yes, sir.
Are counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements not made part of the record?
No, you're.
Ms. Carey?
I'm just reading the notes. Can I have a minute?
Yes.
That was exactly what was talked about in the pre-trial. So no, that was an error from our office. I will not do this again. I'll go ahead with this plea, but I'm not very happy about it, but that's not anyone's fault here.
So there are no other promises, threats, or
There's
inducements?
not.
Mr. Shervin, then to the allegation that on or about August 25th, while in the city of Cadillac here in Wexford County, you allowed another person to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code. How do you plead? In order to accept that plea, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So, and I realize it was you driving the car. So back on August 25th, were you driving a car in the city of Cadillac?
Yes, sir.
And were you stopped by law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Looks like that was on Wright Street.
Yes, sir.
And at the time, it looks like your license was suspended, denied, or revoked. And you know that?
Yes, sir.
And is it also true that the vehicle was not insured?
Yes, sir.
Do you counsel believe defendants provided a factual basis in which to accept the plea and that the court rules have been complied with?
I do.
Yes, sir.
As does the court, I find the plea is no involuntary and accurate. Sir, I find you guilty of allowing another to operate in violation of the motor vehicle code pursuant to the plea agreements. Count 1 and 2 will be dismissed. Any allocution, Ms. O'Meara?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd ask for fines and costs in this case. Mr. Shervin lives in Cadillac. He's taking steps to get his license back. He is employed, doesn't have an extensive criminal history, and I see no reason to supervise him. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carey. Mr. Shervin, you had the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know? Why is your license suspended?
I had a previous court hearing and I tried paying it and then I didn't know that. So it got sent to my address. And then when I got pulled over, I found out.
So it's denied for non-payment.
Yes.
All right. And so you know what you have to do to
Yes.
fix that? How much do you owe? Do you know?
185, I believe.
All right.
And then to get my renew it, it's like $40.
So when did you learn of how much you owed?
I called like right after I got, well, the next day after I got pulled over.
And in the last month, you haven't paid that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, meaning no, you haven't paid it? When do you expect to get that paid?
I can buy this weekend.
So why hasn't it been done before now?
I was going in between different jobs.
Are you still employed at the concrete place you told me
Yep.
about? All right. All right, I will keep this to fines and costs. There is a $75 crime victims' rights fund fee, $50 state minimum fee, $100 fine, waive court costs, attorney fee, Ms. O'Meara,
We will waive it.
attorney fee waived. There is no jail on this case, correct? 0 days jail, 0 days credit. Mr. Shervin, any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days will have a 20% penalty assessed to that. You can go out to the front window where you checked in, get your get your judgment, make a payment if you're able to, and then good luck. All right.
The prosecutor offered that plea to me this morning, so I was not able to tell my client that that was now the offer. But he did tell me previously that if that was what the offer was, he would accept that offer.
Mr. Smith, is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you need time to discuss anything with your attorney, or do you want to proceed?
I'll proceed, Your Honor.
All right. So it's my understanding that you will be pleading guilty to an added count 2 of disturbing the peace, which is a 90-day misdemeanor and or a fine of $500. In exchange for that, the people will be dismissing the domestic violence, which is a 93-day misdemeanor and or a fine of $500. Is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Will you please raise your right hand as best as you can? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Back on September 4th of this year, were you on probation or parole?
No.
Were you on bond?
Yes.
Has there been a bond violation?
Yes.
All right. Did you Do you remember reading and signing this advice of rights form? Talk about your rights to an attorney and your rights to a trial.
Yes, I believe I did some.
Bailiff, can you show this to Mr. Smith? You remember signing that?
Yes.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about those rights? Most importantly, do you understand that you do have the right to a jury trial and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be waiving that right and you won't have a trial of any kind?
Yes, sir.
Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plea today?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody threatened you? And is your own free choice to plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements not made part of the public record?
No.
Then to the allegation that on or about September 4th, 2025 in Herring Township of Wexford County, how do you plead to disturbing the peace?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Are you sure? In order to accept that plea, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So it looks like you and Sherida Woodring had some sort of altercation.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what happened?
To be frank with you, I had an orientation for a higher job at Ruby Tuesdays. I got out of that in about 45 minutes. She was inebriated and she stole alcohol from Myers. Was taking some boxes, I guess she acquired from Chattahoochee County Jail. Was not aware of that until later that night. And I told her, to get away from me. I tried to call the police. She took my phone. After that, the police were called, they came, they asked about the situation. They asked us to split apart, which she left for probably 20 minutes. Came back drunker than before, we got like swearing. I started raising my voice at her, telling her to get away from me. That's pretty much it.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, ma'am.
did the police at some point talk to you at Walmart
Yes.
and told you to have no further contact with her?
Yes, I was trying to charge my phone so I could.
Okay, just say yes or no.
Yes,
And then you re-engaged in a verbal argument with her
yes, and she returned my 10, yes.
and it disturbed the other customers at Walmart?
It did.
Thank you. Do counsel believe the defendants provided a factual basis in which to accept the plea and the court rules have been complied with?
I do.
Yes.
As does the court, I find the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. Sir, I find you guilty of disturbing the peace. Pursuant to the plea agreement, the domestic violence will be dismissed. Ms. Carey, are we able to sentence today?
Yeah.
Any allocution, Ms. Stemke?
Judge, he's been in custody since this date of this offense on September 4th. And he does tell me he has been employed with the Ruby Tuesday. I do know these two have been ordered to have no contact previously. And I believe there's still a no contact order in place. I do believe the prosecutor was going to request fines and costs because he's been in custody now 20 days in this and asked for credit for time served. And that is what I'm asking for, Your Honor.
Thank you. And by our calculation, it's been 27 days.
Okay, Judge.
Ms. Carey, any allocution?
No, thank you.
Mr. Smith, you do have the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
Trying to take care of somebody, take care of my mother and my kids.
All right. As previously stated, the defendant has 27 days credit, so I'm going to do a time served. So 27 days jail with 27 days credit. There is a $75 crime victims' rights funds fee, $50 state minimum fee. $150 fine. I'll waive court costs. Ms. Stemke, any objection to waiving the attorney fee?
No.
All right, attorney fee will be waived. Sir, so at some point you'll be released today. You'll need to make arrangements to make a payment or get set up on a payment plan because any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days will have a 20% penalty assessed to that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. You can go back with corrections and good luck to you, sir.
So sorry, Judge.
Ms. O'Mara, the appearance looks like you're under the supervision of Ms. Firavento.
Yes.
Is she here?
No, she gave her permission to be the video.
Okay, this is not going to work with the court. We've got appearances filed by attorneys. We're jumping attorneys. I'll do it today, but from now on, if we have a case that requires a supervising attorney to be here, I expect that supervising attorney to be here.
Yes, Sharon, just so the court is aware, she is handling cases in Massachusetts County, but I will pass that along.
Well, there is ways to adjourn cases, so. All right, we do have a resolution that's correct, is a driving license suspended, no proof, correct? No proof of
Yes.
insurance?
Your Honor, the driving license suspended is the second.
Yes, thank you for that. Ms. O'Mara, that's your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, have you heard what the attorneys have said the resolution in this case is?
Yes, sir.
And is that how you wish to resolve it?
It is.
Now, I have another question for you because Ms. Firavento is really the attorney assigned of record on this. Ms. O'Mara is under her direct supervision. Mr. Hartel has indicated that he's filling in for Ms. Firavento based on her permission for that. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you give today in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right. It's my understanding that you'll be pleading guilty to count number 1 of operating while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked as a second offender. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year and/or a fine of $1,000 in vehicle mobilization. Also, you'll be pleading responsible to the civil infraction of no proof of insurance. That is a fine of $120. In exchange for that, count number 2 of operating without insurance will be dismissed at the time of sentencing, which is a 1-year misdemeanor. Is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Back on August 26th of this year, were you on probation or parole?
No, sir.
Were you on bond at any time?
No, sir.
Do you remember? Looking for an advice to rights form, but I don't see one. There we go. Do you remember reading and signing this advice to rights form? Talk about your rights to an attorney and your rights to a trial?
I do.
Did you understand those rights?
I did.
Most importantly, do you understand that that you do have the right to have a jury trial, and that by entering a guilty plea today, you'll be giving up that right? You won't have a trial of any kind.
I do.
Other than the plea agreement, has anybody promised you anything in order to get you to plea today?
No,
Has anybody threatened you in any way?
no,
And is it your own free choice to plea today?
it is.
Are counsel aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements not made part of the record?
No.
Ms. Lawrence?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Miller, to the allegation that on or about August 26, 2025 in the city of Cadillac in Wexford County, how do you plead to operating a motor vehicle while your license was suspended, denied, or revoked as a second offender?
Guilty.
And to the civil infraction of no proof of insurance, do you plead responsible or not responsible? In order to accept those pleas, I must have you tell me what it is that makes you guilty. So back on August 26, were you operating the motor vehicle in the city of Cadillac?
I was.
And were you stopped while operating that motor vehicle?
Yes.
And at the time of operating that motor vehicle, was your license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Was.
And is it true that you had a prior driving a license suspended on June 27th of 24 here in the 84th District Court?
Yes.
And did you know that your license was suspended?
I did.
And then is it true that you did not have a proof of insurance?
That's correct.
All right. Do counsel believe the defendants provided a factual basis in which to accept the plea and that the court rules have been complied with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
As is the court, I find the pleas are knowing, voluntary, and accurate. Sir, I find you guilty of driving the license suspended as a second offender and responsible for the civil infraction of no proof of insurance. Any allocution, Ms. O'Mara?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, I respect that my client has had previous charges similar to this. I would say that he has sold the vehicle involved in this complaint. That he runs a business here in Cadillac. He's a member of the community. I'd ask that this case be held to fines and costs. If it's not held to fines and costs, I would ask for a short period of supervision, just to make sure that he is not driving.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence.
Your Honor. I don't have a whole lot to add. I just want the court to be aware. I counted 7 prior driving while license suspended, dating all the way back to 2004, which frankly is a little ridiculous that he continues to do this over and over and over again. Other than that, I will leave the sentence up to the discretion of the court. Thank you.
What brought him to the attention of law enforcement?
One- Looks like the officer observed the registration tab was the wrong color. And when he entered it into lien, it showed that the plate was expired.
All right. Mr. Miller, you had the right to address the court prior to sentencing. Is there anything you'd like me to know?
Yes, but like I said, I got rid of the truck, sold it, so I'm gonna just try and find rides to work and do what I can to get back and forth from now on.
How far do you live from work?
Well, it depends. I work around the area doing construction and drywall. I try to keep everything local so that I can walk to it or get a ride from a friend, but
Well, Ms. Lawrence is correct. I came up with the same number that you've got 7 prior driving while license suspendeds. I also show that in 22, there was no proof of insurance as well. But I'm also aware of recent appellate court decisions that say that in order to sentence to somebody for driving a license suspended, this driving license suspended has to be more egregious than any other driving a license suspended. And the court finds that it's not. The reason you were stopped was for an unlawful plate or an unregistered plate. That's probably the case in 95% of the driving license suspendeds we have, along with operating without insurance. So court will do fines and costs only. There is a $75 crime victims' rights fund fee, $50 state minimum fee. Because this is not your first, there'll be a $300 fine, $150 court cost, and $150 attorney fee. 0 days jail with 0 days credit. Any balance that remains unpaid for more than 56 days will have a 20% penalty assessed to that by operation of law. You can go out to the front window where you checked in and get get a copy of your judgment, make payment if you're able to. I forgot to impose the fine for the civil infraction. That's $120 for the civil infraction. If you aren't able to make payment, go ahead and get set up on a payment plan. All right.